Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see two people have joined. It's great to have you here. Welcome. Welcome. Great to have you here. Do share with us where you're joining from, your name and where you're joining from. Welcome. I see two people have joined. It's great to have you. So please tell us your name and where you're joining from. It's great to have you here. I'm just going to wait till 8 o'clock or about a few minutes past 8, and then we will start so we can finish on time. Welcome, Rahama from Ilorin. Great to have you here. Thank you for coming in early. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is it in Ilorin? How's the weather in Ilorin? I hope the weather is great. Okay, I see we're 5 now online. That is good. Very, very good. Welcome, Rukaya Yunus from Ibadan. Great to have you. We have Bisola Hamin from Lagos. Great to have you. And Kudrat, another person from Ilorin. Wow, wow, wow. I'm seeing like ladies only here. Where are the men? If you see me looking sideways, it's because I am streaming from Zoom onto YouTube. And I have to use my phone. I put my phone on YouTube. I'm using my iPad to stream, but I have to check what's going on YouTube using my phone. So I have to look to the side and look down at my phone to be able to chat, because what I have in front of me is Zoom, but I'm streaming it onto YouTube. So that's why I'm looking like sideways. You see me looking sideways, okay? And okay, welcome Khadija from Kaduna, and Kudrat from, okay, Lauren, I've mentioned that before. Like I said, that's the second person from Lauren. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I like that you're punctual. That is really, really, really good. That is good. Okay, and I've got Victoria here also. Okay. I hope I'm not frozen. Got Victoria here also. Opeoluwa Sonia from, okay. She's joining from Lagos. That's good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. So like I said, if you see me looking sideways, it's because I have to check my phone to chat. I'm using my phone to chat. I cannot use the device I'm using to stream to chat at the same time because that is on Zoom. I'm streaming from Zoom onto YouTube. Okay. So bear with me if you sometimes look at I'm trying to respond to you from my phone. Okay, I will start in about I see we are 13 of us. I'll be starting at 8:05. So let's give you people 3 more minutes and then we will start. Welcome, Hajia Ramatulai. Welcome, Mohammed Soli. Hey, a man at last. Great to have you here, Mohammed. I think that's the first man that is introducing himself. Great to have you here. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm happy to have you here. And I say we'll be starting the next 2 minutes. I'm just giving people a few minutes to join. So we'll start at 8:05. I like punctuality. So I'm grateful to all those who came in early. It's really good. So Mohammed is from Lagos. Welcome. It's great to have you here. And we have Mohammed from Mohammed Adawudi. Sorry, please forgive me if I have not pronounced your name well. I hope I have pronounced that well. We have another man has joined us. That is really, really great. We've got Habiba Olaleke. Welcome all the way from Oshogbo. Another man, Kazim Alao. Well done. Welcome, 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 welcome. Where are you joining us from? It's great to have you here. So we're starting in a minute. I'll start to share my slides and we will start going from there. I will be chatting, using my phone to chat with you guys, but I'd like to really focus on the okay, you've got Abayo Emil Gidon, another man, Ismail from Lagos. Welcome. It's great to have you here. The number of men are increasing, and that is exciting. Really, really exciting. That is good. Okay, it's 8:05 now, so I'm going to start sharing my slides. So let us start. Okay, let me start sharing my slides. Oh, Mohammed is from Okene in Kogi State. Welcome. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Okay, so I've started sharing my slides and I'm going to be moving the slides along. I hope the slides are showing on there on. I'm waiting for it to show. I've started sharing my slides. So the first slide I just have there, it seems to be lagging. So the first slide is here. And the title on that slide, the title of the webinar is Combat High Blood Pressure Naturally with Food. So what I'm about to do is I want to teach you practical steps that you can use to lower your blood pressure naturally without taking drugs. But I'm only focusing on food, some foods, okay? So let's move on. You can see the machine is there. You can see numbers on that there. It's a high number, and that's not what we want. So let's move on to the next slide. And let me introduce myself to you. I am Opeoluwa. I'm a widow. I lost my husband sometime this year. I'm a retired pharmacist of over 42 years experience. I studied in University of Ife, Ile-Ife. And I left there in 1983. And I've worked most of my life in community pharmacy. And I love community pharmacy, both in Nigeria and in the United Kingdom. I think I only did some hospital pharmacy bit when I was in Ife, when I was doing my internship, and I used to go to the health center. So that was all I've done in hospital setting. But most of what I've done has been in community, and I love community. As of now, I've retired from pharmacy, and I'm now a health and wellness coach and a consultant. I'm certified as a nutritionist, so I'm a nutritionist. I'm a nutritional therapist. I'm a detox specialist. So the difference between nutritionist and nutritional therapist are nutrition talks about nutrition. Nutritional therapist uses food to help people maintain their health or to reverse diseases. Okay, so let's move on. I'm a detox specialist. That means I know a lot about how you can detox. I did a course in that. I'm an advanced weight loss consultant, so I help people lose weight using science-based principles, not fat diets. I'm also a certified life coach. I'm a life coach. I didn't put that there. I'm a life coach. I'm an advanced life coach also. I'm now doing my training to become an executive coach. Okay, so what I actually do is that I help adults with long-term illnesses. When you say long-term illnesses, I mean this is that they are there, you are just trying to treat with drugs, like high blood pressure, diabetes type 2, because there are 2 types of diabetes, women with fibroids, men with prostate health and all that. I help them to treat and reverse it, because we can treat and reverse a lot of these things when we do the right things. When you put in your body what it needs, the body will heal. It's taking the body a long time to get to that illness, for that illness to become what it is. So it takes a little while for you to be able to reverse it. But when you give the body what it needs, it will do its job. So let's move to the next slide. So what are our learning objectives for today? Okay, so by the time we are done in 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, this is what you should know. You should be able to, I'll be sharing with you some foods. There are a lot of foods that actually have been scientifically proven to lower blood pressure. In fact, a lot of them work exactly like the drugs that you take for high blood pressure. But because they are food and they're natural, they don't have the side effects that the tablet you take have. I've given bags and bags of drugs to people, so I know that they cause a lot of side effects. When you take this blood pressure tablet, it gives you side effects. You go back to the doctor gives you another one to counter that. And before you know it, you have to keep taking one drug or the other to counter the effect of one drug. So that's why it's much better. And it doesn't actually reverse it. It just heals the symptoms. So I'm going to be teaching you how scientific foods that have been scientifically proven, not just, we just heard it. No, science has proven it to lower high blood pressure naturally when you consume it consistently. Please notice the word consistently. You cannot take the food today and not take it tomorrow and expect it to work. If you want you are trying to use your food to become medicine. So you're going to eat your food as medicine. The father of medicine said, let food be thy medicine and thy medicine thy food. It's just saying that let your food act as your medicine. And that's what we're trying to do here. And let your medicine be your food. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use them, other uses, how they work. And by the end of the webinar, I'll be sharing some exciting news that you'll love. So I would love you to please stay till the very end to be part of that news that I'll be sharing with you. Like I said, this is only just one part of the ways in which we can lower blood pressure. It takes about 4 different pillars to lower blood pressure completely, to reverse it naturally. So food is just one of the pillars. So let me move on. So the idea is this: to get rid of hypertension or high blood pressure without orthodox medication like your tablets, like amlodipine and all that, you need a holistic health strategy that handles 4 main areas. The first one is diet, which is food. The next one is exercise. The third one is stress management. And the fourth one is sleep. When you get all these four in place, you will be able to successfully reverse your hypertension. But you've got to work on these things consistently. And there will be no side effects when you use these things as your medicine. So like I said, however, in this class, we'll focus only on diet. How do you lower your blood pressure and get rid of hypertension using just foods? That is just what we are focusing on. That is the focus of this webinar. So before we go into the foods, I want us to look at some statistics so you can know what we are dealing with. As of recent data, high blood pressure, also known as hypertension, is a major global health concern affecting millions of people all over the world. These are the statistics. So how common is it? It's around 1.28 billion adults aged 30 to 79 have hypertension worldwide. That is large. That is a lot, 1.28 billion people. However, a significant portion of people have not even been diagnosed. And that is the scary part because it's a silent killing disease. Look at the graph. And then detection and treatment. Only about 40%, 46% of adults with hypertension are actually aware. So there are a lot of people out there that are carrying this ticking time bomb in their bodies and they do not know. They are not aware. And among those 46%, only 40% of that are aware are actually receiving treatment. So this is a very, it's not a good statistics at all. A couple of years ago, I've been living healthy for a long time. A couple of years ago, while I was in Nigeria, I used to attend a business fellowship. One day, they brought some people to come and do routine checkups. I eat well, I drink, I'm very health conscious. I don't eat sugar and all those things. So I just did the routine test and they said, oh, your blood pressure is slightly raised. Oh, that really concerned me. I said, wow, I have to go back to the drawing table because I eat very healthy, you know. And I began to remember that my dad actually had high blood pressure. So it can be genetic. But being genetic doesn't mean that you have to allow it in your life. So I went back to the drawing table and I sat down to research and what can I do to make sure that my blood pressure is fine and I don't have to be on drugs. Until today, I am not on medication. I'm fine. So let's look at the control rates. Approximately 21% of adults, individuals with hypertension have it under control. That's very low. That means 89% do not have their hypertension under control. That is very scary. And now looking at the number of people here, attendees, out of about 300 and something that joined the group, only 26 are here. That is amazing. We really need to take our health serious. Hypertension is called the silent killer. So we need this information. When you look at the geographical disparity, what are the differences? In high income countries, we find that the control rates is better because they have the infrastructure when you compare it to low income or middle income countries. So let's say America versus Nigeria. They have it more controlled in America than they have it in Nigeria because they have more infrastructure. There's more healthcare available. So what are the risk factors for people to develop hypertension? Please listen to this. It's very important. Lifestyle factors such as poor diet, physical inactivity, smoking, alcohol consumption, they contribute to rise in hypertension. So a lot of us, we don't do any exercise, you don't go for a walk, you don't jog, you don't do anything. If you don't do that, your blood pressure will rise, especially when you have a tendency to do that. If you're a smoker, you're adding to it. So those are some risk factors. So what are the health implications? Hypertension is a leading cause of premature death globally, leading to a major risk factor for cardiovascular disease such as stroke and heart attack. What am I saying here? Hypertension is a silent killer. It is one of those diseases that kills people, a lot of people, because a lot of people are not even aware that they have it, and people that have it are not doing the things they should do to bring it under control. And it affects the heart, it affects the kidneys, it affects almost every part. So anything that's affecting the kidneys, anything that's affecting the heart, it can lead to stroke, it can lead to heart attack. So that is why we must really, and when you have a stroke, one side of the body is paralyzed. You don't want to have that. So these figures actually highlight the urgent need for people to be aware, there must be more awareness. We must prevent it. We must manage it all over. And that's one of that's one of the things that I do. I do things with hypertension. I do things with diabetes. For more detailed up-to-date statistics, it's best to refer to reports from organizations like WHO or the local health department. So what exactly is high blood pressure? Okay, I've moved to the next slide. I'm hoping it will be showing there. What exactly is high blood pressure? High blood pressure is also known as hypertension, is a condition in which the force of blood against the arteries, it is pushing against the arteries, is high. Now, the arteries are so thin. And, I want you to look at them as like your arteries as, those water hoses, but they're very, very thin. So our arteries are like water hoses. And if you put on the tap and they are passing water through a hose and the pressure of the tap is too much, the hose begins to bend. After a while, it can even burst. That is how hypertension is. The arteries, because of the pressure, they can burst. They can bend. They can be destroyed. And that's where the complications come from. Because the pressure in which the heart is pumping the blood into the vessels is too high. That's why we must reduce that pressure. So this increased pressure leads to health problems such as heart disease and stroke. And blood pressure is measured in millimeters of mercury, mmHg. So I'm sure some of you are aware of that. And they use two numbers. Systolic pressure, that's the number on the top. That is the reading when your heart is beating. And the bottom reading is what you call the diastolic pressure. And that is in between the heart rests. It's pumping, but it's resting at intervals. So during that period when it's resting, they measure the diastolic pressure. So normal levels should be from 120/80 or less. High blood pressure often has no symptoms. And that is why it is called the silent killer. And I'm sure that is why a lot of us are here today to learn about it. So regular monitoring and lifestyle changes like diet, exercise, and medication, where necessary, can help manage the condition. I want us to get to a place where we do not need medication, like I don't. Like today, I've gone for my walk. Today, I've eaten healthy foods. Today, I've made up my drink that is full of lots of herbs and things, healthy things, to make sure that they work my blood pressure, and you'll learn more about that. So blood pressure readings, I've already said that. The systolic one is the one at the top, the diastolic is one at the bottom, and I've explained that. So let's look at the blood pressure categories. But it's normal when your blood pressure is less than 120/80. It's elevated when it's between 120 to 129 over less than 80. So that's just a little bit elevated. But they say you have hypertension stage 1 when the top reading is 130 to 139, or when the bottom part is 80 to 89. 80 to 89. And then it is now stage 2, when systolic is 140 or higher, and the diastolic is 90 or higher. And the worst one is what they call the hypertensive crisis, where the top reading is 180 and above, and the bottom one is over 120. I was having a discussion recently. I went to visit somebody, who had a mini stroke because of his blood pressure. Not too long ago, he was quite close to my husband. I think the stress of what had happened made him maybe not taking care of his blood pressure and all that. He suffered a mini stroke and all that. So I went to visit him. He was finally home, went to visit him. And while was there, somebody else came to visit, a couple came to visit, and he was not there. The man that came to visit was saying he had to go to the hospital because his blood pressure was high and So you had that person that was speaking, that had come to visit, the person that had come to visit, was suffering from hypertensive crisis, and they did not release him from the hospital until his blood pressure was normal. So that is a hypertensive crisis. Anything that is over 180, and that man's one was about 200. Very dangerous. So let's move to the next slide. How do you measure it? So that some people, you have the machine at home. Normally, the one that is used in the hospital or clinics is what you call the sphygmanometer, which actually you have the cuff and a gauge and a stethoscope, and when you want to take it, and they tell you to be relaxed, The person measuring should be seated comfortably, being measured should be seated comfortably with their arm at the heart level, not lower, not higher. So your arm, remember this, when they are taking your blood pressure, your arm must be at your heart level, not lower, not higher. You must be relaxed, and you must not have consumed caffeine or smoked for at least 30 minutes, because that caffeine and smoking raises blood pressure. And find caffeine in tea and some other things, and cocoa and all that. Then the cuff that they're going to use around the arm, it must be comfortable, with its lower edge above the bend of the elbow. And the inflammation, the cuff is inflated usually by, there's this pump that they press it, or sometimes it might be an automatic machine. Okay, and what they do is they're temporarily stopping blood flow into the artery. That's why it feels tight. When something is tight, the blood flow will be hard. So you can use the manual method, which is the stethoscope, or you can use the automatic method, which is the home machines that you use at home. And then the reading, I've already explained that to you. It is recommended to take multiple readings for accuracy. Okay, I'm running a challenge where I've told them they must take their blood pressure twice a day. I'm starting on Monday, where they must take their blood pressure twice a day. So because we're preparing for Monday, they must take it twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. I even told them that they must measure it in the left arm and the right arm, and let me see the readings. And it's important I take twice, at least different times of the day, where possible. So what are the consequences of you not managing your blood pressure? Unmanaged high blood pressure or hypertension can lead to serious health consequences. And here are some of the potential effects. I'm using this for you to prepare your heart towards, what hypertension is, how dangerous it is. One of the side effects is heart disease. It increases the risk of coronary artery disease, heart attack, and heart failure. So when people have heart disease, it's not just heart attack. It can be heart attack. It could be the coronary artery disease. That's the artery, coronary artery. That artery is diseased. Or it could be heart failure. It could cause stroke. And stroke happens when there's a damage to the blood vessels in the brain. Like I told you that these vessels are very, very thin. So when there's too much pressure, it can burst. It can cause damage, and it can cause kidney damage. That's one of the worst complications of hypertension, kidney damage, because it strains the kidneys. So, and that can lead to kidney disease or failure. Then another thing is vision. It can affect our vision, because the blood vessels that are in the eyes are thin. So when there's so much pressure, it can cause what we call retinopathy, that can lead to blindness. So those are some of the consequences of them. Another one is aneurysms. The weak blood vessels, when it's too much pumping, like I said, it can rupture, like I used the example of the hose. Then it can cause cognitive decline, which can lead to issues with memory. Another one is peripheral artery disease. This affects the arteries of the legs. Okay, so that's why some people will be feeling cold in their legs or feeling uncomfortable in their feet. It may be because of that. And sexual dysfunction, for men, it can lead to erectile dysfunction. That's some of the medicines they use for hypertension, is what they also use for erectile dysfunction. And for men, can cause women to not be interested in sex. That's low libido. So managing blood pressure through lifestyle changes and medication can help to mitigate these risk factors. We must not ignore them. Now let's go to the core of today's webinar. I've explained why we need to take hypertension seriously, what it does, what it's all about, how it's measured and all that. So let's look at 6 powerful foods. There are many, but I've chosen 6 ones that are pretty common and available. And all these ones, I use them regularly. At least. So let's look at, I'm looking at spinach. I'm looking at amonotutu. Spinach is amonotutu, okay? Spinach amonotutu. Then we're looking at beetroot. Beetroot is common, okay? And we're looking at pomegranate. Pomegranate might not be so common in Nigeria or Africa, but I know that when I was in Nigeria, I used to be able to get it from ShopRite. And some markets have them, but it's a very, very good and powerful fruit. Then you have banana. Banana is available everywhere. Then you have hibiscus called zobo. That zobo that you look at, it's very, very powerful. Zobo is powerful. Then you have what you call scent leaves, African basil. So let's look at them one by one. You can see the pictures. Once the slide changes, see the picture, you see the spinach. Spinach is a leafy green vegetable that belongs to a particular family called amaranth family. It is very nutritious. It's very, very nutritious. I've had some spinach today in form of powder in my drink. It is rich in vitamins A, vitamin C, and vitamin K. And it's also rich in minerals like iron and calcium, and it's rich in folic acid. It's also rich in nitrates. Please note that on the nitrates, because I want to talk about that. Foods that are high in nitrates are very good for blood pressure. Let's look at beetroot. Beetroot is also known as beet. It's a root vegetable just like carrots are, and has a deep red or purple color. And in some places, so it's not, in some places I've seen white sort of beetroot that is not particularly very red. Then the third one here is pomegranate, a round red fruit with a thick, tough skin. Inside it, you can see what's inside it, the seeds inside of it, encased in juicy seeds, and the fruit is rich in antioxidants. This is one fruit that is amazing. It has many health benefits. It is rich in vitamin C and K and has various nutrients. So let's look at banana. We all know what bananas are. As banana, it's tropical fruit. I love my bananas. I take at least one banana a day. I'll talk more about that. Hibiscus, that is your zobo. And then you have the scent leaves. That's just cinnamon behind it. Cinnamon is also good for lowering blood pressure. That's the scent leaves, also known as efinrin. Okay, in Yoruba. So I'm going to take the foods one by one. So the first one I'm going to talk about is spinach. What is spinach? Okay. Spinach is a leafy green vegetable that is closely related to beetroot. So they are in the same family. Okay. Beetroot and spinach, they're in the same family. They are close, they are like brother and sister. And that's what I'm saying. It's in the same family as what you call as beetroot and something called quinoa. Quinoa is not so common in Africa, in Nigeria, but it's a very, very good grain. It's very, very good. It's known for its high nutritional value. Spinach is very high in nutrition, so it's something that we should be consuming. It's rich in vitamins A, vitamin C, and K, as well as iron. So people that are low in iron, one of the ways you can raise your iron levels is to juice spinach and drink it, and ugu. Okay, I just said, let me add that jara for it. So it's rich in iron, it's rich in calcium, it's rich in antioxidants. What are antioxidants? These are foods that fight oxidation in the body, foods that fight rusting in the body. Okay, so it's very, very important. Our diet must be rich in it. Spinach can be eaten in raw, as you can add it into salads. You can cook it, or it can be added to dishes, like it can be added to stews, it can be added to smoothies, it can be added to juices. Okay, it has a mild flavor, so it makes it very, very good to use in different foods. You can, I know we use a lot for Opeoluwa and things like that. Yeah, so you get the best out of spinach when you only steam it. You know, not the one that you have overcooked, not the one that you have turned into two. You know, you've overcooked it. You will not get much nutrition from it. It will give you fiber that will help you go to the toilet, but the thing that lowers blood pressure has been destroyed. So you must take it. It's usually best maybe when you juice it or just steam it very lightly. I use it both ways. I steam it very lightly and I also juice it or use the powder. How does spinach work? Like I said, remember I said something about nitrates. So spinach is rich in nitrates. That is very, very important. Any food that is rich in nitrates will lower blood pressure. And what do nitrates do? Nitrates help to relax. You know, the blood pressure is caused because the arteries are too tight. They are tight, and the pressure against them is too much. Anything that will relax your arteries will lower blood pressure. Anything that can widen them and make them dilate will lower your blood pressure. So spinach is rich in nitrates. And what do nitrates do? They help to relax the arteries. They help to dilate the blood vessels, expand them, and this then leads to lower blood pressure. Now, the nitrates inside spinach is converted. It doesn't lower blood pressure just as nitrate. It has to be converted to what you call nitric oxide. in your body. So when you consume the nitrate-rich spinach, the body converts it into nitric oxide, but it needs bacteria, especially bacteria you find in your mouth, and enzymes in your body. So those two together will work on the nitrate in your spinach and turn it into nitric oxide. And this is now then what is now this nitric oxide is what now does the job. This nitric oxide now acts like a messenger that helps to relax the blood vessels and improve blood flow. Anything that can improve your blood flow will lower your blood pressure. So, and this not only lower blood pressure, it has a lot of health benefits. So it improves it improves how much exercise you can do, because it's improving blood flow. Anything that improves blood flow will help with exercise too. So example of medications, blood pressure tablets that they give people that work exactly like spinach are what you call that isosorbide mononitrate. An example is isotat. So spinach works exactly like this group of medicines that they give to people to lower blood pressure, but it doesn't have the side effects. Okay? It doesn't have the side effects. Spinach does not have those side effects because it is natural and it is food, and the body knows how to use it. So not only that, another way it works is that it is a high source of potassium. Any food that is high in potassium will help to regulate fluid balance, because when there's too much fluid in the body, it raises blood pressure. When there's too much sodium in the body, it raises blood pressure. So what potassium does, it balances the sodium and the fluid in the body. It helps the kidneys to get rid of the excess sodium that is raising your blood pressure. So there must be enough potassium in your diet to balance any excess sodium that is raising your blood pressure. I hope you're understanding, what I'm saying now. So anything that can do that. So that is the second way in which spinach works. The first way is that the nitrate is converted to nitric oxide. The second way is that it is rich in potassium. Okay? And potassium will lower your blood pressure because it balances the excess sodium in the body. Another thing is that because it is rich in antioxidants and minerals, it reduces inflammation. Anything that reduces inflammation will reduce inflammation of the arteries, and that will help lower blood pressure. Another way it does it is by the fiber content. Vegetables like this are high in fiber. A lot of natural foods are high in fiber. So it's because it's high in fiber, it helps to improve your digestion. It helps you go to the toilet more. And because it improves your digestion, also, there is a relationship between your digestive system, which is called your gut, and your heart and your cardiovascular system. I shared an article about that recently. I shared a post about that. There is a gut-heart connection. So when your diet is healthy, your heart will be healthy. So any food that is high in fiber is very good for your digestive system. And because it's good for your digestive system, your heart will also be healthy because they are connected. That's why you must eat foods that are high in fiber. So I've shown you about 4 or 5 ways in which spinach does its job. So you can see how powerful spinach is. Don't look at amunututu as a common thing anymore. It is a powerful food. It's a powerful medicine for your body. How can you consume it? You can juice it. You can add to salads. I add it to salads. One of those I use is that because it should only be steamed lightly, if I'm cooking my brown rice or fada or things like that, or quinoa or bulgur, just before it's ready, I will slice amunututu. When it's just before, about a few minutes before I stop cooking it, I will slice amunututu or spinach into it. So to just for about 2 minutes. So it's just steamed there. So it is still healthy. The nutrients are still there. Or you can just steam it a bit and put some and just add it to whatever you are eating. You can add it to smoothies. I add it to smoothies. I add it to I don't really use it for or anything like that, but I normally use it as a powder. I use it in smoothies. I use it in juices and in salads. That's how I basically use spinach. Okay, so let's talk about how often can you consume it. You can consume spinach every day, but you must also consume other vegetables. I consume spinach every day, especially either in salads, either in my cooked meal, or as the powder, the dried powder. I put dried powder into my drink, so I consume it every day, once or twice. Maybe in my drink in the morning, my drink in the evening. Okay, so how long does it take before you start seeing results? Now, if you want to see results from consuming spinach, I know that, it can vary from person to person. The way I respond to spinach may be different to the way you respond to spinach. So you have to watch your own body and check and see how it's affecting you. So it also depends on how severe is your hypertension. Is it very high? That will determine how quickly it will work. How good is your diet? How good is your lifestyle? Do you exercise? Do you go for walks? How and are you using it enough? So that is what those I think that will determine it. So if you are saying that how often should I use it? Look at your diets. How high is your blood pressure? Am I exercising? Is my diet good? Okay. Some people may start to see improvements in blood pressure within a few weeks of making dietary adjustments, including adding spinach and other heart-healthy foods. When you combine a lot of foods together that lower blood pressure, you get amazing results. So let's go to number 2, beetroot. Beetroot, like I said, is in also the same family as spinach, and its leaves also look like spinach leaves. And it's usually deep red or purple in color. And beetroot is very common in Nigeria, in Africa. However, there's a golden type that I have seen and white varieties I've seen in the UK, but I've not seen those ones in Nigeria. So according to research, what does research tell us? Please listen to this. High blood pressure patients, people with high blood pressure who drank 250 ml of beetroot juice in a day were found to have their blood pressure levels back to normal by the end of the study they did. So that is how powerful beetroot is. And this is one of the things that I teach in the challenge that I normally do. And a lot of people that did the challenge, when they take the beetroot, they had amazing results with beetroot, which I will share with you. Beetroot juice, that's how powerful it is. Beetroot juice lowers the systolic blood reading. It lowers it with a significant effect from up to 90 days of intervention. If you continue it lowers the systolic level. This means that drinking it consistently for at least 90 days lowers your top reading. Remember that this is the reading that is most dangerous. So beetroot lowers it very, very much, but you must take it consistently. You can't take it today and not take it tomorrow. So that's why I always encourage people to make it into a juice, and drink it. And I'll talk more about that. So beetroot is believed to lower high blood pressure through different ways. Just like spinach, it is high in nitrate. I said they are from the same family. So when you consume it like spinach, the nitrate is converted to nitric oxide in your body and dilates your blood vessels, just like it does, as I mentioned, with spinach. Number 2, beetroot also contains what you call beneficial compounds such as potassium, just like spinach, and the antioxidants, just like spinach, which can help to regulate blood pressure. The potassium will balance out the excess sodium that is in your blood pressure, and then the antioxidants will reduce inflammation, inflammation in your body and the inflammation in your arteries that is causing blood pressure. Additionally, another way in which it works is that it is a natural diuretic. That means diuretics are things that make you go and wee. Okay? That means it helps to, one of the things that raises blood pressure is excess fluid in the body. So when you are weeing more, that means you're getting rid of the excess fluid. So beetroot is helping you to do that. And by so doing that, it's going to lower your blood pressure. In orthodox medicine, as a pharmacist, I know that one of the first drugs they will give you if you have high blood pressure are the class of drugs called diuretics. Okay? And so some examples of diuretics that are common are furosemide and benzofurazide. They are common ones. That is usually, at least I know that in the United Kingdom, the first line of actions is usually what you call water tablets, diuretics, also known as water tablets, because of the way they work of reducing the fluid in the body and then lowering blood pressure. So you can see another one which beetroot is very, very powerful. Don't ever look at it as a small thing. In another study, in human study, they found that beetroot also significantly lowered the top reading and the bottom reading in people that use it after just consuming it for 24 hours. I know somebody that during the challenge that I ran in May, Every time she took the beetroot, her blood pressure levels just crashed. So it works within 24 hours. That's how powerful it is. Another study shows that beetroot juice helps to lower levels of LDL, bad cholesterol, in people with uncontrolled blood pressure. And usually, high cholesterol levels and high blood pressure are very bad things for the heart. So anything that lowers blood pressure and cholesterol is a good thing for your heart health. So beetroot is very, very powerful. Start using beetroot. How can you consume beetroot? You use it. This is the way that I use it, and I encourage you to use it, is to juice it. Okay, it can be cooked, but I'm not a fan of cooked because I know that when you cook it, you've killed a lot of the nutrients and the powerful things in it. I tend to use it raw. You can juice it. You can make it into a smoothie. You can add it to salads. I add it to salads. I juice, I make it to smoothies, and I also ferment it. I ferment it for maybe I ferment cabbage for about 3 days, and I add the beetroot to it, and I ferment that one for another 3 days, and I produce what you call kvass, which is a probiotic. It's very good for digestive health. Remember that when your digestion is healthy, your heart will be healthy, like I shared before. So look at the beetroots. I want you to take a look at it. You can see the bulb, you can see the stalk, and you can see the leaves. Every part of beetroot is useful. Do not throw the leaves away. You can chop the leaves up and put them in your salad, or you can juice the leaves or make into smoothies. Do not ever throw the leaves. And you can see the stalks. The stalks are very, very useful. Do not throw them away. I tend to juice the stalks when I'm juicing pomegranates. I tend to juice it. I don't want to say, I slice it into my salad. And I also slice the beetroot leaves into my salad, or I juice it. So do not throw them away. So the bulb is useful, the stem is useful, and the leaves are useful. Do not throw them away. It is a very, very powerful food. It can be cooked or taken raw, like I said. And like I said, I ferment. And when I ferment, what is created is called, with cabbage and beetroot fermentation, it produces what you call kvass, which can act as a powerful blood tonic, a powerful probiotic, and a powerful probiotic that is good for the digestive system. Remember, healthy digestive system, healthy heart. So how often should you consume? Should be taken daily or a few times a week to get results? I would suggest it's taken daily. I tend to take it twice a day. The powder in the morning, the powder in the evening, twice a day in my drinks, okay? And I've already would have juiced the stock in the drink I'm even going to add it to. So I use the whole thing. How long do you expect to start seeing results? Some studies suggest that the effect of beetroot in lowering blood pressure can be seen within a few hours of consumption. However, consistent intake over several weeks is important. And this will yield sustained results. Like I said, you cannot take it today and not take it tomorrow and expect to see results. You must look at this food as your medicine. It's important. The father of medicine said, let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food. If you don't eat your food as medicine, you will eat your medicine as food. So what do I mean by that? If you do not eat the right foods that will heal your body, you end up consuming lots of medicines that will be acting as food instead of the other way around. Sorry, excuse me. So consistent intake over several weeks will yield sustained results. Individual responses can vary. So the way I will respond to it is different from the way that you respond to it. You need to study your body. So I want to go to the third food, pomegranate. I love pomegranate. It is such an amazing thing. Like I said, they are a type of fruit from the deciduous shrub or a small tree. They have tough reddish outer skin and are filled with sweet, juicy seeds called arils, which are typically red in color, which you can see there. Okay, you can chew them. So pomegranate is believed to lower high blood pressure through many ways. Let's look at how it lowers blood pressure. Number one, it is rich in antioxidants, very, very rich, such as the polyphenols, which reduce oxidative stress, which reduce inflammation. It also improves the function of how your arteries behave, how they function. It makes sure that they function well, and then it regulates blood pressure. Anything that will improve our blood vessels, that make them healthy and function well, will lower blood pressure. The next thing is it is also rich in nitrates. So you know how nitrates work. I've also mentioned that. So that's number 2 way in which it works, like medicine. Now there's a group of tablets that people with high blood pressure take. This man I was talking about was also on them. They are called ACE inhibitors. Pomegranate acts like ACE inhibitors. Let me explain what inhibitors are. As a pharmacist, I have given a lot of ACE inhibitors out, and examples are the ones I for any medicine, blood pressure medicine that ends in pril is an ACE inhibitor, lisinopril, ramipril, lisinopril, fosinopril, anything that ends in pril, they are ACE inhibitors and they are blood pressure tablets. Pomegranate contains compounds that act exactly like these ACE inhibitors. Okay, so and what do ACE inhibitors do? They help to relax your blood vessels and therefore improve blood flow. But unlike ACE inhibitors, pomegranate does not cause dry coughs. People that are on ACE inhibitors, a lot of them, just like the gentleman I was talking about, he's joined the 21-day challenge. This gentleman I was talking about, when he was on these ACE inhibitors, he was having dry coughs. I know many people that when they're on this medicine, they had dry cough. So that is a side effect, but pomegranate does not cause that. That is why food is the best medicine. Okay, another advantage of pomegranate is that it lowers your cholesterol levels. That's one thing I love about it. It reduces the bad cholesterol, okay? And it has been found that bad cholesterol can also lead to high blood pressure. So by doing that, it is helping to lower blood pressure. So overall, the combination of these effects makes pomegranate a very, very beneficial food for lowering your blood pressure. How can you use pomegranate? Number one, juice the seeds. Number two, you can eat the seeds. Number three, you can add the seeds to salad. You can add to smoothies. And maybe after cooking, you can sprinkle it on cooked food. I tend to juice my pomegranates. Okay, now let me talk about other things about pomegranate, why I love pomegranate. You see that skin of pomegranate, I do not throw it away at all. I clean very well with vinegar, water. I rinse it and I boil it with clean water, clean filter water, and the solution that comes out, the result, is good for a few things. Please listen well. That skin, don't throw it away. When you boil it, it lowers blood pressure. The solution you get lowers blood pressure. Number two, that solution you get is a good mouthwash, very powerful mouthwash. I don't know how many of us know what you call the ogwefu. You know how ogwefu feels when you take it. That's exactly how it feels when you take this liquid as mouthwash. It's very, very powerful. I do not buy normal shop mouthwashes because of the chemicals. I use this as my mouthwash. And also, it's a very good skin toner. I do not buy health and beauty products. I do not buy skin toner. I do not buy cleanser. I don't buy all those things from the shop. I don't. This is one, I use it. That is my toner. If I want to clean my face, I just use coconut oil on cotton pads and I clean my face. It will remove all the dirt there without adding chemicals to it, and my skin will be soft, okay? So I've shown you different ways in which you can use it. Do not throw it away. Do not throw the skin away. So how long before you start seeing the effects when you're using pomegranate? The effects of pomegranate on blood pressure can vary between individuals, and like anyone, it's different with people. Some studies suggest that you get noticeable improvements a few weeks of regular consumption. Did you hear regular consumption? So I tend to take it every single day. I take beetroot every single day. I mix them all together and make myself a nice drink that I will take religiously. I drink it, okay? So, however, results can differ based on factors like I mentioned before. Your diet. How good is your diet? Are you somebody that just eats pizza all the time? Are you somebody that just eats bread all the time? Someone that just eats all this junk food, burger all the time? You will not get good results. If that is your diet, it will not help you, because you're already doing more damage to your body. So it's going to need more. You're going to need more of it to get the effects that you want. But if you want good effects, the combination of a good diet and pomegranate will lower your blood pressure. So your lifestyle. Are you somebody that goes for walks? Are you somebody that jumps on the trampoline? Are you somebody that goes to the gym? And also it depends on how severe your blood pressure is. If it's severe, you're going to need it more. Okay, so now let's go to the fourth one, bananas. Bananas are common, and I love bananas. And you know that bananas are actually a powerful source of potassium. Remember, I've talked about potassium. Potassium balances the sodium in the body and helps to balance and helps to get rid of excess sodium in the body and the liquid, okay, in the body, excess fluid in the body. And potassium is an essential mineral that helps us to manage our blood pressure levels. So banana is high in them. Okay, so potassium works how? By helping the body to balance the amount of sodium, like I've mentioned before, in the blood, which is crucial for maintaining healthy blood pressure. Sodium is that's why they tell you to lower your salt intake when you have blood pressure. It's the sodium in it that is causing a problem. Fortunately, potassium helps to balance it out. Now, the potassium in bananas helps to reduce the fluid retention, like I've mentioned before, which contributes to high blood pressure. So when you eat bananas regularly, you are increasing your potassium intake and you are helping your blood pressure to go down. Okay? So another thing is that bananas also contain fiber. You remember I've talked about a high fiber diet. A high fiber diet can contribute to overall heart health because it is giving you a good digestive health, and that way helps also regulate blood pressure. So when you include banana in your diet, you are reducing your risk of developing high blood pressure and improving your heart health and lowering your blood pressure. Okay? So now, there is one thing I want to point out. I know a lot of us, we eat banana. After I eat banana, we just take the peel and we throw it away. Don't do that again. Stop throwing the peel away because the peel itself is powerful. I take the peel and I boil it and I drink it. So I might boil it with zobo and efirin and all of them together, and bitter leaf, because bitter leaf is also good at lowering blood pressure. But I'm not discussing bitter leaf today. So banana peels can help you lower your high blood pressure due to their high content of potassium. So it's not only the banana itself that has the high potassium. The skin itself is high in potassium. Please don't throw them away. So, like I've mentioned, it counters the effect of potassium. Also, the skin is also rich in fiber, which also, like I said, so it's not only the banana that is rich in fiber, the skin is rich in fiber. So it's going to improve your digestion, it's going to improve your cholesterol levels, okay? And the peel is also high in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory things that will help reduce inflammation of your cardiovascular system, including your arteries, okay? So do not throw them away. How can you consume banana peels? First, now say is that if it's not organic banana, I'm not sure that you get organic bananas in Africa, but I tend to get organic bananas in the UK where I am. If it's not organic, don't just boil this. You must clean it. So I'll suggest you get, because bananas can be high in pesticides, all those pesticides they used to do it's not good for the body. So take the banana peel, get some vinegar, mix a cup full of vinegar, mix it in some water, soak your banana peel in it for about 5 to 10 minutes, then rinse it very well, and then you can use it. So you can boil it, okay? And then, or you can soak it in baking soda, aluminum-free baking soda. Those two things will remove the pesticides, okay? So you can boil it, you can blend it with your smoothies, you can add a little bit of banana peel to your smoothie. I don't encourage people to add bananas to smoothies because it causes them to ferment. But the peel you can add to your smoothie, but you must have a very, very powerful blender to do that, okay? So that's important because of the high fiber. Another way is that you can boil or cook the skin. Boiling banana peel softens them, making them easier to eat. So anybody wants to eat them should boil them. I haven't tried eating them, but you can clean very well and throw it into your oven. You can put spices on it, healthy spices, throw it to your oven, and when it's crispy, you can have it as like it's almost like plantain chips, but banana peel chips. Okay, so that is another way you can use it. So you can bake the peel, you can fry the peel, and it's healthy. So I want to add one thing here. People that have diabetes, to not eat more than one banana a day. I myself, I don't eat more than one banana a day. It depends on the size. If it's small bananas, you can eat 2. Don't go and eat a whole bunch of bananas because bananas are high in sugar. Don't raise your blood sugar levels. So, especially if you have diabetes. So I, for one, because I don't want my blood sugar levels, my grandmother had diabetes. And that means it runs in the family. And I refuse to have it because our genes and what you inherit doesn't mean we have to suffer from them. It is how you live your life that will determine whether you have the disease or not. So if your father had high blood pressure and I knew my father had blood pressure, I knew I had to live a life that would make sure that my blood pressure will not rise. So it's a choice. We are not victims. We are the ones that will determine whether we are going to accept it or not. So if you're somebody who likes to drink alcohol, you know that there's high blood pressure in your family, and you decide, oh, I will drink alcohol, I'll be smoking. Well, you have opened the door for hypertension because the genes are already in your body, and the genes just need something to wake them up. The genes that we have, let me explain to you, the genes that we have, they do not determine that we're not victims of our genes. It is our behavior that wakes those genes up. So you can either put your genes to sleep, the bad genes to sleep, or you wake them up with your diet and your lifestyle. Simple. Those are the 2 key areas. So if you're a smoker and you're a drinker, you just wake up those blood pressure genes. And that is your own fault. Okay? So if you refuse to exercise, if you refuse to go jogging, refuse to go for a walk, then you allow those genes to wake up. Simple. So you are the one who determines it. Do not let anybody tell you that you are a victim. Okay, so let's move on. Another way in which you can have banana peels is to pickle them, but I don't recommend pickled foods for people that have high blood pressure because they are high in sodium and salt. Salt is high in sodium. So it's important. I'll also suggest that if you have high blood pressure, instead of using regular white salt, try and be using Himalayan salt or sea salt. That's not part of today's thing, but let me just add that for you. So like I've said, it's important to wash the peels and make them clean. So how often should you consume bananas? According to research, there is no specific one-size-fits-all, like I said. However, including bananas in your diet a few times a week can be beneficial for your heart health, thanks to their potassium content. I take a banana a day. A banana, if they are very small, I can take 1.5. I'm very disciplined. And I just put this in my yogurt and I load my yogurt with berries and all that. So that would be one of I eat twice a day. The first one I'll eat maybe around 12 or 1. As I practice intermittent fasting, I have coconut yogurt. I don't take dairy. Coconut yogurt. When I was in Nigeria, we used to make coconut yogurt. We used to sell coconut yogurt. Chemical, no sugar-free, everything was just natural. So I'll chop a banana into it and I'll load it with other berries and grapes and I'm good to go. So the salad, that is my first meal. A salad and a bowl of yogurt and fruits. That's good to go. And then I have my drink, my drink that is loaded with beetroot, zobo and all that. So that is my first meal. And in the evening, I'll have a cooked meal. Okay, so how long before you start seeing results? The effects of eating bananas on blood pressure can vary from person to person, as I said before. Some individuals may notice changes in a few weeks, while for others, it may take longer. And like I said, it depends on your lifestyle also and your diet. It's important to consider banana and all these foods as a part of a broader approach to your heart health. So you can't just say, I'm just going to be eating bananas and that will solve all my problems. No. You must balance your diet. Okay? So it must include reducing your sodium. That means reducing the salt that you're consuming, the type of salt that you're consuming. How are you exercising? Are you going for walks daily? Are you involved in physical activity or are you just sedentary? Or you just sit down and do nothing. It's not going to help you. Me, I'm 64. I'm 64 years old this year, and I watch what I eat. I go for walks. I go for my walk. Monday to Friday. I will go, and if the only thing that can keep me in is maybe if it's raining. So I still have a mini bike in my house. So I just sit on the bed and the mini bike and I use my bike. So that means I'm still getting my steps in and getting my exercise. I also have a mini trampoline. Those, I'm not talking about the big trampoline, mini one. If you jump on the trampoline, it will help your it will help your blood pressure. You just jump, you don't need to jump very high. Children that are jumping, that's why they are healthy. Me trampoline, a very small one, they're called mini ones, they're not the big ones. I have it in the house, I jump on it. I may jump on it up to 1,000 times and I'm good to go. So I've covered my exercise, okay? But I'm not a regular, I'm not a gym goer. But one thing I want to start doing now is I want to start swimming. So that is in my agenda. So you can see that I'm not joking with my exercise area. Okay, so let's move on. So you must add physical activity and healthy weight and manage your stress. So let's look at the next one, which is Zobo, also known as hibiscus. Zobo is a wonder. Please, it's a wonder. No, Zobo is very popular in Nigeria. It's a popular drink made from dried hibiscus flower known as sorrel. In some countries called sorrel, it's called bisap or roselle. And one of its amazing, Zobo has a lot of health benefits. Zobo lowers cholesterol. Zobo is anti-cancer. Zobo helps with weight loss. I'm telling you. But I'm concentrating on the fact that it lowers blood pressure now. And it's very good at lowering blood pressure. I'm kidding you not. So Zobo is rich in antioxidants, specifically what you call the anthocyanins. That's why it's called a red color. Which also, any antioxidant will lower inflammation. Anything that lowers inflammation will lower your blood pressure. And it will improve your arteries, the health of your arteries. And once you improve your blood vessel function, your blood pressure will go down. Okay? So it's also high in potassium. Can you hear potassium again? It is high in potassium. And you know one other good thing about Zobo? It is a diuretic. It is what you call a water tablet, like those ones I've mentioned before. It is a water tablet. So it's going to make you pee more and get rid of excess fluid in your body that may be raising your blood. So it's going to reduce your blood volume and lower your blood pressure. Another thing about Zobo is this. It acts like those class of drugs I mentioned before, those ACE inhibitors. Those drugs that I say end in pril, ramipril, lisinopril, fosinopril. Those ones that cause dry cough. Zobo will not give you dry cough. But it will do exactly the same thing that lisinopril is doing. It will do exactly the same thing that ramipril is doing. It will do exactly the same thing that fosinopril is doing. It acts like an ACE inhibitor. Can you see that these foods are powerful? Overall, Zobo's antioxidant content is high, the potassium levels are high, and because of its diuretic effects, it has a great ability to lower blood pressure. Stop looking down at Zobo. I'm not talking about the Zobo that they've added all sorts of nonsense in. When I make my own Zobo, it's only Zobo. I'll put Zobo there. I will put Efinrin there. I'll put bitter leaf there. I'll put the banana peel there. You know what else? Only healthy things. I don't add honey. I don't add sugar. I don't add anything. Maybe one thing you can add. Maybe you can add some. I also add lemongrass. But I don't add any other thing. So when you taste my own Zobo, it's just plain because I've weaned myself off sugar. I used to be addicted to sugar and I used to be overweight. But I trained myself. I weaned myself off sugar. So if a sugar addict like me can get off it, anybody can. And sugar will contribute to your blood pressure. Okay? So just make the Zobo like that. However, it's important, to note that Zobo can be a healthy addition to your diet. It is not a substitute for your medical treatment for high blood pressure. So for you to get consistent results, you must use a combination of things and you must be consistent. I do not drink Zobo alone. I drink other things. I have beetroot and all these things that I've mentioned with you today. I have them regularly on a daily basis. What I've done, I will take a day to just sit down and make a batch of juices, a batch of smoothies, a big bowl of salad. I just take the day and just do it. Okay? So always make sure that your diet is balanced. How often should you consume? Typically, I would say you can consume hibiscus or Zobo tea twice a day. I take a lot in my first meal and a little in my drink at night. So how long before you start seeing results? The time it takes to see results from Zobo can vary again depending on individuals. It depends on the health condition. It depends on how high the blood pressure is. Some people may notice changes in their blood pressure within a few weeks of consistent use. You can't use it today and not use it tomorrow and to expect to see results. I keep saying it. If you want to replace food as your medicine, you must eat that food as if it is your medicine. Okay? So they say science, the research shows that within a few weeks, people of consistent use, you will see results. While others, it may take longer. So I've told you what can affect it. So let's look at the last food, which is scent leaf, efirin, also known as African basil. I love the smell of efirin. It is very, very powerful. It has a very powerful fragrance smell because of one of its contents called eugenol. That eugenol is what you also find in clove, konofuru. Okay? So African basil, also known as African blue basil or camphor basil, contains compounds like the eugenol that have been shown to help lower blood pressure. I also add clove into my tea every day. Okay? So some of the ways in which African basil may reduce high blood pressure will include this. Number one, it relaxes the blood vessels. Okay? It relaxes the blood pressure, the blood vessels. So anything that dilates or relaxes blood pressure will improve your blood pressure. Number two, it's also rich in antioxidants like the others. Okay? Which I've mentioned before. It also has anti-inflammatory effects. And anything that reduces inflammation in your body will reduce inflammation in your blood vessels and make them function well. So there will be no constriction or force. So that's one of the ways in which basil does it. And in addition to that, just like the others, some of the others I've mentioned, it acts like a water tablet, just like the benefluizide. African basil has direct effects it helps you wee the excess fluid out of your body. Okay? So it increases the amount of urine that you're giving out and decreases fluid retention in your body. Fluid retention is what raises blood pressure. So this helps to lower blood pressure by reducing the volume of fluid in your body. Remember that diuretics, like I said before, are usually the first line of treatment when they want to lower blood pressure. Then let's look at the eugenol that is inside of it. Eugenol oil that is making it smell nice helps to lower cholesterol also, and also triglycerides. So it's very, very good, not only for blood pressure, but cholesterol and triglycerides, which are important to be normal for healthy heart. So it also contains magnesium. So let's talk about magnesium. Magnesium is a powerful mineral that helps to relax your blood vessels. If your diet is low in magnesium, I supplement with magnesium. I take magnesium supplements so that my blood vessels can be relaxed. So magnesium helps to improve your blood flow by allowing your muscles to relax. It's a muscle relaxant. Okay, so people that tend to have cramps in their legs, they have maybe their magnesium levels must be low. Okay, so that's why it is called, because magnesium relaxes blood vessels. It has been found to behave like a calcium channel blocker. Calcium channel blockers, CCBs, are another group of blood pressure tablets that they give people. Things like losartan, Candace, any of these medicines that ends in sartan, they are what you call the calcium channel blockers. So if you are losartan, candesartan, valsartan, all those sartans, efirin behaves because of the magnesium in it. It behaves like a calcium channel blocker without the side effects. Okay? It relaxes your blood vessels and lowers your blood pressure. How often should you consume efirin? To get results, one must consistently consume these foods like medicine. There isn't a standardized dosage, especially for lowering blood pressure, but incorporating it as your daily balanced diet will have its benefits. I add it to my tea. Maybe when I'm boiling the banana peel, I'll add zobo to it. I'll add efirin to it. I'll add bitter leaf to it. If I have lemongrass, I'll add it to it. So I'll make a batch of it, no sugar, no honey, nothing. The batch is there. So I've already made my pomegranate juice. And that pomegranate juice, I would have added things like other leaves in it and juice it. So I'll now mix the two together. So they'll be in two different bottles. I'll just mix, and in another bottle, a mixture. So I'm having I'm drinking it as if it's my medicine every day. So how long before you start seeing results? Regular consumption over weeks, okay, or months is generally there to observe. Okay, so combining all these things together will give you good results. Okay, and so this is where I'm going to end my presentation. I've shown you how often, how to use it. I've shared it with you. I think I've shared how you can use the ephedrine in the juice. You can add it to smoothies. You can add the juice and spoon, and you can make it into a tea. That is the way I use it. You can dry the leaves and use it as tea, or you can use it fresh like that. I tend to, because I'm in the UK, I use the dried ones, and I also use the fresh European basil, because it's African basil. I use the fresh European basil. Okay, so let's go to question and answers now. Let's answer your questions. So please put your questions. Yes, you can get a recording. You can get a recording. Now, what I want to say is this, before we go to questions and answers, thank you all for listening to this. I didn't promise a replay, but I'll say about it. How people respond, I'll think about that. But to really, like I said before, to really take control of your blood pressure, there are 4 pillars you must use. Your diet, I've only mentioned a bit. You see, this food I've mentioned is just a bit of diet. I've not mentioned food you shouldn't eat. I've not mentioned how to combine foods. I've not mentioned a lot. I've just shared a few things. So you must deal with your diet. You must deal with there's the diet pillar, there's the exercise pillar. You must deal with your stress, and you must deal with your sleep and your weight. So those are basically 5 things. Incorporating all these 5 is what will give you the full result consistently. And that is why I have what you call the 21-day Kick Out Hypertension Challenge. That one is not a free program, it's a paid program, and it's going to be starting on Monday. Okay, people have already said I've paid, but I've already done this webinar once. I repeated this webinar because of you guys, so that I can get your value and start using what you've learned today. And you have up till like Sunday to join, because today is actually the last day for people that are paying for this challenge. The group is already full. So if you want the full thing to really get everything in place, for what you've already gotten here, you can go and start applying. If you want to get the whole reversal system and get the whole system, how you can learn how to really use everything, how to do your sleep, what type of exercises you can do. I teach things like tapping, all those things that you don't know about that you can use to reverse it, deal with your stress, deal with sleep, type of exercises you can do, and all that. So please, I'll put the link now in the chat for anybody who is interested, and I also put my phone, my WhatsApp number, so that you can reach out to me, and you can start asking your questions before we close, and you can continue asking your questions because if people are still paying for the challenge now. I'm trying to paste it in here. Oh, that's not what I want. Sorry. Okay, so please feel free to ask your questions. I'm ready to answer your questions. And I'll open the group tomorrow for you to ask questions, and so you can ask questions, but you have between today and Sunday to make up your mind about what you'd like to do, because I'm actually closed registration for 12 midnight today. Okay, so are there any questions you can ask in there? Please feel free to ask questions before I shut down. And I'll open the group tomorrow morning for questions and answer, but only questions related to this, please. Okay? The last one I did about 10 days ago, the same thing that I did. People asking for questions that are not related to hypertension at all. So please, let's make sure that we keep our questions in the group to hypertension and what I've shared today. If there are no questions, I don't see any questions coming in. Well, for Zachariah, I will. Okay, who is in UK? Okay, you're from UK. Good evening. Welcome, UK. Where in UK are you? Oluje. Where in UK are you? I'm in London. So Zachariah, I normally say that replay is not available, but we'll see how it goes. I will make up my, but see if there are requests, we'll see how it goes. But we normally prefer people to attend the live session. So it seems like there are no questions. We can end the session, and you can ask any more questions in the group by tomorrow. I'll open up the group tomorrow. So let me see your emojis if you got any value from what you have learned. Thank you. I'm glad you got some impacts, and you can start practicing what you've learned. A lot of them are available. Start practicing them. Start practicing them, and you'll start seeing some results. But for sustainable results and to really, really understand the nitty-gritty, you'll be able to, you should attend the challenge, which is starting on Monday. So we'll continue our conversation in the group. Thank you very much. Because I don't see any questions. Thank you very much, Hamed Sahid, for thanking me. Thank you. Let me see your emojis if you got value from this. Let me see your emojis. Did you get value? Thank you, Isa from Kano. I'm not seeing your emojis, so that means you didn't get value. Okay, oh, if you say so. Can plantain serve the same purpose as banana? Yeah. 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 Sometimes when I'm doing a raw food challenge where we don't eat any cooked food, we eat raw plantain because we're only eating fruit and veg. So during those challenges, you can eat. I've eaten raw plantain before. The paid class is 30,000. I'm glad you love the webinar. Yes. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yes. So yeah, one of the good things you can do is for your health is at least maybe once, maybe twice in a year minimum, you take a day, 5 days, and just eat uncooked food, just raw food. Don't eat any cooked food. Every month, the first few days of the month, I practice what you call autophagy, where I'll start like Friday night. Friday night will be my last meal, and my next meal will be Monday afternoon. That's what I call autophagy. So all I do is just drinking water or green tea or herbal tea. So that way, all the damaged cells in the body will be flushed out of the body, and the body is renewed. It helps to deal with disease and all that. So those are just one of the things you can do for your health. And the other time, you find that your blood pressure is also stable. Okay, you're very, very welcome. You're very, very welcome. You're very welcome. What is the question you asked? I said how much. I said how much is it paid? It's 30,000 naira for the paid. Yes, it's 30,000 naira. I've answered your question. Yeah. They both contain potassium. And unripe plantain is actually very good because it's low in sugar. So yeah, I prefer, if I want to eat amala, I prefer the amala from unripe plantain than the yam one. Well, thank you very much, Olatunji Ajibola. Thank you. I'm glad you got value from it. God bless you. So are there any more questions? Can pregnant women, yeah, they're healthy foods. I don't see anything wrong with that. The foods I've mentioned. Efirin, his leaves, zobo, banana, pomegranate. I don't see anything harmful there. Just I don't see anything toxic in any, because they're all food. So when you say overconsumption, I don't know what you mean by overconsumption. The body will take what it needs out of it. Maybe one of the things I'm happy if you overdo it is that you might, because of the fiber level, you might go to the toilet more. So none of these foods can lead to toxicity. Not really. Efirin, how much are you going to? You're not going to go and take a whole basket of efirin and start consuming it, are you? Hamid, what is your question? What's your question, Hamid Salami Sahid? What was your question? Please share your question. I don't know what your question is, Hamid. Can a pregnant woman use Zobo to lower blood pressure? I'd be careful with the consumption of Zobo when you're pregnant, so you don't go into premature labor. Just a little at a time, but don't overdo it. Just a little. I'll be very, very careful so that it doesn't cause contractions. That's why I say I'd be careful in consuming your Zobo when you're pregnant, because so that it doesn't cause contractions. So yeah, it can affect contractions, so that be careful about consuming it. Yeah. I hope I've answered your question. You're welcome. Okay, so if you have any more questions, we can ask the questions in the group, which I hope we open up the group tomorrow morning by God's grace, and we'll be able to even take more time to answer your questions. Okay? Thank you very much. I'm going to end the session now. I'm going to shut down the Zoom and end the session. Okay, good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Anybody wants the link? Is there? The link is up there. And you all have my phone number. If you're in the group, my phone number is on the group as the admin. You can get my phone number there. But I can put it here also. My WhatsApp number. You can only contact me there by WhatsApp. This is my WhatsApp number. Okay. All right, then. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much for attending. God bless you. I will catch you in the group later tomorrow. Bye-bye.